really passionate about fencing. I love fencing. And I think that fencing as a sport, as many sports, it can teach a person a lot about himself or herself. It can teach an athlete's physical abilities, an athlete's mental abilities, problem solving, just teach a way to respond to the world.
Anybody brings a huge amount of tools to the sport, and the sport isn't made to select any one tool. It doesn't select through speed, it doesn't select through size or right-handedness or left-handedness. Name any one skill, and it's important to fencing. It is not the only thing in fencing. And so every fencer learns to adapt their skill set to the demands of the sport.
All of the students are capable of fencing. There are certain small touches that may make it easier, really not just for the low vision students, but for all students, to be able to use more than just sight.
I started having headaches. I thought I needed stronger glasses, so I went to an eye doctor. I was told from there to see a retina specialist, and I went to see one, and my instinct told me something was wrong. Instead of getting stronger glasses, I was diagnosed with an eye disease. It was causing cerebral spinal fluid to leak out of my brain into the back of my eyes and splitting the layers apart.
We're working with Catherine on movement and balance and being comfortable with that movement in absence of either visual feedback or in absence of blade presence. And she's progressing well, has a ways to go, but so do all of us.
Foveal schisis, typically, people get it when they have it when they're younger, but it takes decades for it to progress to the level that it was with me that day on the test. People get it in one eye, and I have it in both. And when they're much older, then it starts to present itself and affect their daily living. And I was noticing it when I was 33. So I went on to Boston, and the diagnosis was confirmed. And my world changed from there.
I was at my dad's house when my mom found out that she was going to lose her sight. While she was at the airport waiting for me to get off the plane, this lady came off with a seeing eye dog. My mom kind of just started bawling. And I got off the plane. I was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just so happy to see you." I was like, "No, what's wrong?"
I was told that I had up to decades until it would continue to progress and really affect my daily living. And within about a month or so, I couldn't drive at night anymore. And within the next month, I couldn't drive at all. I couldn't even read my mail. There was a surgery that I could have had that would have, the potential was there, that it could have corrected the damage that was done. And I was relieved because I had a health insurance and thought, great, I'm gonna go try this surgery. There's hope there, maybe it would work. And my insurance company denied my claim. So I fought them. And after 3 appeals, going to the Attorney General's office and with the help of local senators, we got my surgeries approved. Unfortunately, quite a bit of time had passed and more damage was done. I had a flood of thoughts running through my head from, okay, I'm a mother, how am I going to raise my daughter? How am I going to do the job that I worked so many years to do? How am I going to function the way that I am now? And after the fact, you realize, of course, that your whole world changes and you don't ever function the same way again. And it's not that I'm non-functional now, I just had to learn a completely different lifestyle.
I interview people and I discover what areas of their lives they're having troubles with, are extra frustrated or discouraged about. So we don't actually talk about the loss of the vision or the grief surrounding that loss, but what kind of activity can I get them going and involved in life again? Whatever that entails for a particular person. It might be getting to do their hobbies again, teaching them how to thread a needle, or teaching them to cook. All kinds of personal organization skills, very simple daily living skills that I teach people how to do without vision or with very low vision. I think that in our profession we do empower people to become self-sufficient again, to have confidence, to feel like they have choices again.
I realized I knew nothing about blindness. I didn't know resources. I didn't know contact information, who I could get a hold of. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what that next step was. You gotta buy groceries, you gotta clean your house, you gotta pay your bills, I had to function. And so when the offer came to go to a blind training school where it was all inclusive, all the training was at one spot, it was 7 days a week, yeah, I took the offer because I needed to learn as much as I could, as fast as I could, so I could adapt, so I could survive. That was how I initially got to the Carroll Center.
I originally got interested in low vision fencing through reading an article about it. I was doing research on fencing and ran into an article about the Carroll Center in Boston. It was really back from, I think, the 60s or the 70s. So it was a very old article, but it was very intriguing to be able to use fencing to reach a wider group of people.
Cesar was a coach at the Carroll Center and he taught fencing. And fencing was a class offered there for the reason that when you use your foil or your weapon of choice against your opponent, when your foil or your epee hits your opponent's weapon, you lunge back. You quickly assess what your next move is going to be, and that's very similar to walking with a cane. I sweep my cane around the floor, and if I hit an object or it drops off the side of a curb, I don't lunge back, but I quickly assess, what do I do? Am I gonna keep walking forward and maybe trip, or am I gonna bump into something? So that was the essence of why that course was taught, fencing was taught at the Carroll Center.
How unique is that, to be blind and to be able to learn how to fence, and it's, what a gift it is to be able to do that.
Because everybody with a vision impairment sees differently, so we all wore blindfolds to put us on the same playing field, because there's that chance that I'll lose all my vision. Whenever I put on the blindfold, I get panicky. At first, I didn't quite understand how it would all work and how we would do it. And then when they gave us all blindfolds, then I really was like, oh, okay, well, any thought of me playing this sport is out. But yeah, when you hit on that other opponent, you get that surge of energy and excitement because you're doing it. Wow, this is really gonna work. I'm blindfolded, they're blindfolded, like it actually works. And then that competitive feeling in me started coming back, and I wanted to win, and I wanted to learn more about fencing. When I fence, it's calm, which is weird because I have a weapon and I'm trying to stab other people with it, but it's really calm because I'm focused.
I guess it was in September. I met both Bob and Carolyn. Oklahoma Council for the Blind had a booth, and she was saying that she taught blind fencer. And that sounded really interesting to me, and I honestly didn't think I would be able to participate, but it was obviously a good resource to have, because if I can't, then some of my clients may be able to. My philosophy is, if I can't do it, then I don't expect anybody else to with their vision impairment. I'm a rehab teacher. I teach the visually impaired and blind individuals. Anything from independent living skills to getting them ready for college.
I think it's important to teach people how to have a balanced lifestyle too. I work for a company that has a couple of support groups or activity groups too that they can join in. letting them know that there are other people that are a little bit further along in the journey of adjusting to their vision loss.
Because I was a personal trainer before and I was really active, I missed sports. I missed being physically active. After my surgeries, I was told by my gym that I worked for several years that just me personally trying to go in there and work out, they didn't think it was a good idea because they didn't think that a gym was an area for a blind person. That's tough to hear. When you used to teach people exercises and teach them how to be safe, that is really humbling for somebody to tell you you're unsafe to do it for yourself. But a cool thing while I was at the Carroll Center was I took fencing. I didn't think I could fence myself, and when I took the class with Coach Caesar, he was so lighthearted and funny, and you're gonna do it because everybody else is doing it, and why can't you? And his attitude was so great that it just helped me to see I can. And if I can, why can't other people? And it gave me the confidence that I really needed at that time. I desperately needed at that time.
I was an orphan at the age of 6, and I lived in the streets until I contracted the eye disease, which left me blind at the age of 8. And from there, I went on to the orphanage, where I lived until I was almost 11 years old. I was in Mother Teresa's orphanage, so I'm one of her kids. My issue was a combination of vitamin A deficiency and river blindness. That's what led me to my blindness. People around me talked about and said that, oh, she's blind. But in my mind, I just couldn't open my eyes because my eyelashes were shut from the sleep. They administered medication, and eventually I did open my eyes. But one of my right eye, there wasn't any vision in that. I was completely blind. And I did get some vision restored to my left eye. It was kind of a combination of shock and not knowing what I was going to do next. It was different in the terms that I wasn't able to really take care of myself like I did once. And so it changed for me. And I wasn't in the street very long. I think probably a day, if that long, before I was taken into the orphanage. So that kind of changed things. Christmas of 1979, I was adopted and brought to Washington. It was a wonderful opportunity because as a female child and somebody with a disability in India, you are pretty much don't have a life. You don't have any form of opportunity, a way to make a living. You're pretty much considered a vagrant, and you're at mercy of whoever happens to be around you. So coming to America, that was a whole new world for me.
When I went into the Carroll Center, my vision kept getting worse and worse without any explanation from doctors of why, and I thought I was losing all of my vision. And so at the Carroll Center, everything I did blindfolded. They were training me, gearing me towards losing all of my vision. I've been trained to be successful. I've been trained to be safe in any setting. Whether it's in my house, whether it's in any public setting, I've been trained with mobility skills. I can walk around and not hurt myself without somebody following me, grabbing my hand literally and walking me around.
When I was about 21 and about to get married, I thought I would have my floaters checked out in my eyes. And the ophthalmologist said, there's nothing wrong with the floaters. That's kind of a normal process, but I do see something in your retina that I don't think is normal. So at age 21 or so, I find out I have this progressive degenerative visual impairment or visual disorder, or a vision disorder that may cause me to go blind.
When you're thrown into a health situation like this and It's overwhelming. It consumes every second of every day. You don't get a break from it. But with doing blind fencing, it was a way to get a break.
Visually impaired and blind people are like any other individuals. They may have the competitive edge. They may have the desire to want to compete, just like sighted world. Some of them may be gifted. Because I think everybody needs to have some form of recreation in their life, just to see, how well you can do and challenge yourself. And then if you win, hey, all the power to you.
To be able to do that again just instilled that sense of well-being, or just that independence again, that, wow, I can actually get back to shape again at some point and feel good.
When I heard them talking about trying to start a blind fencing class, it really excited me, because I didn't know much about it, but I knew that it was very physical and real good physical exercise, which is something I always like doing. I like anything that requires a lot of physical activity. It really uses your whole body, because you have to be able to lunge forward towards your opponent or get back quickly if your opponent is approaching you. My eyes stay dilated all the time because I don't have an iris to shrink my pupils in bright light. It's hereditary from my dad's side of the family. That makes my eyes extremely sensitive to the light, so like out in the sunlight, I'm totally blind. I don't even have the use of my shadows or shapes that I can see up close, because the light just blinds me. I'm the type of person, I have to be on the go pretty much all the time. That's what makes me feel fulfilled. I like riding the city buses and going about and doing my business with my guide dog helping me. I freaked out some people on the bus. I told them that I was going to my fencing class. They're like, fencing? First, one of them asked what it was, and I told her, and they're like, you fence with swords? I'm like, yeah. I said, there's a whole bunch of us and we're blindfolded. They freaked out.
I always wanted to do sports when I was growing up, but I think my parents thought they weren't safe, or just wasn't an activity I should do. So this is cool. I'm finally got my sports gear as an adult, part of a team. So it feels really good. Didn't think it'd be one where I'm stabbing someone else, but I won't tell my mom that.
Mom used to be able to cook me dinner. She can't do that anymore. Mom used to play poker. She can't do that anymore. Mom used to go running on the treadmill. She can't do that anymore. Now, it's all different. I get so pissed off, like, why the fuck did this have to happen to me?
When all this vision stuff started, when I started losing my sight, when I started having surgeries, that's when she really started using drugs.
I just remember her trying to tell me stuff about her eyes, and I'd be like, no, go away, it freaks me out, because I remember being so scared about it and not getting any of it. I felt hopeless. I got more into drugs and did a lot of things I shouldn't have done. It took me out of the feeling of where I was in life and what I was going through, and it made me forget the pain that I felt. So it's like the more and more I got stressed out, the more and more I'll get high.
They say when children use drugs, then their brain development stops. And it doesn't start again until they stop using drugs. And so Jade started using drugs when she was 13. So right now, in a lot of ways, I'm dealing with a 13-year-old kid still.
Looking back now, it's probably really selfish because I didn't even think about her. I was just thinking about me. Yeah, it's really selfish. I just didn't even see it. So I'm not mad at her. I'm just mad that what happened to her affects me.
I was shocked by that.
All right. So, wish me luck. Today's the big day.
I know.
Go ahead. It's nice and warm out. My main goal of doing this competition is for Jade, to show her we're past the last few years. The trauma's over, okay? And it's time to move on. And today is for, along the way, the people who have told me that they don't know how I will survive. They don't know how I'm going to succeed. People have told me no, that I can't go back to school, or I'm crazy moving to a new area by myself when I didn't know people and I couldn't see well. This is for you, because I did it and I'm going to continue to do it, and so can any other blind person out there. Wish me luck.
Ready? Bet.
Catherine leads in her first bout, 4-1. Catherine wins her first bout, 5-1. Catherine wins her second bout, 5-1. Catherine wins her third bout, 5-2.
Nice bout.
Catherine wins her fourth bout, 5-3. Catherine wins her fifth bout, 5-3.
I'm wiped out. That was good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And in first place, Catherine Bolton.
Catherine is undefeated in her first blindfold foil tournament.
Is that the front of it, or is that the back of it? All right.
My name is Robbie Hopper. I'm from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I just enjoy the whole atmosphere. Of course, I'll be competitive. You know, I want to win. That's just in my blood. You know, but at the same time, just being a part of it is what's going to be really special, I think. You don't have a good time losing, but it's not the end of the world either. I could do it every day, honestly. I could go up there every single day. That's how much I love it. I'm currently visually impaired for the last 3 years and 7 months. I was shot in the head. It was a jealous ex-boyfriend, but they called it a carjacking. The bullet entered behind the right eye and exited right behind the left eye. and blew out my right eye. I was completely blind for the first 3 months, so just to be able to see it all is a blessing. The most amazing thing is the surgery itself and what they did. They did what's called a face peel on me. They peeled my skull back, cut a big piece of bone out of my skull, rebuilt my eye sockets with it, fused some bones in my cheek together. Then they peeled my face back, and I have 5 titanium plates and 36 titanium screws in my face. And then they just sewed me back up, and it's been quite a ride.
Probably the most emotional part was that very first part, because that, as a mother, that's so hard. Because he, just to see him laying there was hard.
I was angry at the world, not even the person that did it. And even though I didn't think too much about who did it, I was angry. I tried to. There was times I tried to go to jail, or I tried to die, and I couldn't do it.
For touching moments, real touchy moments, is when he didn't want to go on with his life.
I was in the hospital for quite some time. I couldn't tell you exactly. Probably 3-4 months at least, and then on bed rest for a couple of years. I was on roughly 9 different narcotics, but I was absolutely addicted physically, mentally. Without it, even when I would taper myself down, I couldn't think clearly. I didn't feel right. I isolated myself and didn't talk to anyone for a couple of years, and I was still angry, yeah. I mean, the only way I've been able to get out and get away from that anger is through church and having such a wonderful family.
Having the support, and Robbie has a lot of support through the church and our life group and friends and family and all that. So we're all getting there. The last 9 months has been really, really good. Robbie's turned so many corners. He's really upped his game.
My adopted father was also legally blind, so through him I learned many things, and he worked on a regular basis. So he had a piano tuning business, he was a gifted musician, and he was raising 3 biological children of his own, and of course I was thrown into the mix of that. So I got to observe him in action, how he managed chores, day-to-day living. He taught me how to ride the bus. And my mom was sighted, but she was very busy. She had a full-time job. She taught nursing. So he taught me, how to walk to the grocery store, walk the dog. And he was a very well-respected individual in our community. He was a church organist. I mean, I just cannot tell you just how much I learned from him. Where's the leg? What's the matter?
I'm sitting here thinking I'm going to die in this map, and I don't want any help at all. I'm afraid that I'm not going to get anything done. And, my dad, he can see, and he's terrible at that. Her is the opposite. Managed to get me through the whole thing, checking it, and she got me through it, having it right every single time. And for the fact that she's supportive.
Did you read me the math problems?
Yes, and then she didn't even have to see him. I just had to tell her what was there, and everything's perfect.
Did I give you the answer?
No.
So how did you do it?
You helped me.
You had to figure it out, didn't you?
Yeah, she made me, sadly.
I think I've been pretty responsible. I think I have. I've only really got in trouble with the law once. I think I've been pretty safe with my life. Never mind, all my memories are coming back.
she was totally traumatized when this vision stuff started, and it changed her. It changed her a lot.
I know one time we were in New York City. I mean, it was really busy. It was late at night. It was New York City. And then we were there with my uncle. And I think she it was like a crossroads or something. And she had grabbed onto my arm. And I freaked out. And I shoved her off and I ran off. And she was calling my name. And I was just oh my God, don't touch me. I don't know what it was. It's anytime she asked me for help, this burning rage just went through me.
Fencing's my world right now. I'm blindfolded when I fence, and I'm focused on what I'm feeling. Am I feeling the other opponent's, the tip of their blade? Am I feeling it nail the bell guard? I hear their breathing. How close are they to me? I hear their steps. Did they step to the left or the right? I'm so focused on what I'm doing, everything else is gone. All my stress is gone. It's calm when I'm on the strip. It's like slow motion, and it's the most peaceful. Fencing means a lot, and it gives me confidence. If I get intimidated when I am fencing against a guy who is 6 foot, 200 pounds, stock full of muscle, and I'm I'm supposed to beat you, and then I do. It's yeah, it gives me a lot of confidence, and that's something when you have a vision loss you need. You definitely need that.
With the fencing, I'm having so much fun, but you get to be competitive. I get to do it more than once a month, I've been doing it twice a week now, and I would do it every night if I could. Having a group of friends that, actually, they know, they know what you're going through. I think that's very important, and a large part of why we have so much fun is because we're not treated differently. If we were, I don't think we'd do it.
I want people to understand what you deal with when you have low vision, what people take for granted, seeing their opponent on the strip and seeing their blade move 100%, seeing the tip of the blade. I don't know what the tip of the blade looks like. I can picture it in my head. I mean, I saw it for the first 34 years of my life, but I don't ever see the tip of a blade. People don't realize how isolating it is when you lose part of your vision or if you're fully blind. There's so many things that you're capable of doing, but you're not allowed to do. And that's the biggest piece of it.
Just because she's blind, is she supposed to sit at home all day and do nothing? That's pretty boring, just sitting there twiddling your thumb. I know I'm sitting there for half an hour going, I have to do something, I'm so bored.
When people talk to you, they talk to you like you're an incapable human being. Wow, you just crossed the street, good job, I am so proud of you. In your mind, you're going to be oh, dude, why are you talking to me like that?
They cannot imagine that somebody with the blind vision impairment or somebody who's blind, they're doing the very thing they think they cannot do if they were blind or visually impaired. So basically, it's their discomfort that's reflected on me.
People are constantly amazed that I can do the things that I can do because they don't realize that just because you don't have your sight doesn't mean you can't have a full life.
Sometimes my friends will ask me, what's it like having a blind mother? But it's like having a seeing mother with a lot more hearing.
Yes, sir, that's my ears.
She hears a lot better than most people.
So,
She can hear just about anything.
I like to think of myself as a good example as a blind person, as an independent individual, and I like to show, just what a blind person is capable of doing, and how, you know, we can get out and do everything that everyone else can do, except for driving is about all we can't do.
I think most people that have had their vision and lose it, that not being able to read or hold a book and not being able to drive are the two hardest things.
The hardest part of this whole thing has been the transition from going from taking high amounts of narcotics to not taking any. I was on, you know, so many drugs and such high levels of pain medication, it was out of control. I went to St. Anthony's and I put all my medicine on the table and I said, I can't do it anymore. Just get it away from me. That was the hardest thing. It took, you know, roughly 8 months to get to that point to where I felt comfortable and I could function on a daily basis without it. That's the biggest thing, it is, you know, just having the mental, just feeling again, being able to feel the wind blow against your skin, you know, having emotions. The best way to describe what I see is like a blurred cartoon. Not being able to read, see people's faces, not being able to see details. And it is a little blurry, almost animated in a way. I would kind of even compare it to doing psychedelic drugs in a way. 10 years from now, who knows? But right now, I know that I'm lucky to be able to see what I can, and I don't anticipate it getting any better, but it's not going to get any worse.
It's spring, and time for the Spring Low No Vision Epee Tournament. This will be Robbie's first.
Going in there and putting on all that fancy equipment and going up against other people that are visually impaired, it's exhilarating.
This is Catherine.
Hi,
Catherine,
how
this
are
is
you?
Robbie.
Is this the Catherine?
This is
Catherine
the
Bolton?
Catherine, yeah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Nice to meet
doing?
you.
Nice to meet you too. When did you start fencing?
Whenever this class right here started, it's been what, like 6 weeks?
Something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. What do you think?
I love it. I wish I could do it every day.
Yeah, me too.
I need to break you guys up. I'm sorry. Robbie, why don't you go ahead and make your way to the strip?
Is it
We'll
here?
get you warmed
Good luck.
up on the other side. Thank you.
Tournaments are usually conducted in pools. Each fencer in the pool will fence a 5-point bout against each of the other fencers. Fencers are seeded based on their pool results and advance into the elimination round.
On guard, ready, fence. Touch to the right, that's 5, that's about, Dave.
Ani loses her first bout, 1-5. Robbie loses his first bout, 3-5. Catherine loses her first bout, 2-5.
Touch to the left, touching Dave, that's about, that's 5.
Kathy loses her first bout, 0-5. With the pools concluded, each fencer is seated and will now face elimination bouts. An elimination bout is a 15-touch bout. There are 3 3-minute rounds with a 1-minute rest period between rounds. A fencer losing against an opponent is eliminated from the tournament. Kathy is eliminated by Robbie, 6-15. Ani is eliminated, 11-15. On the other strip, Robbie has won 15-8. He will face the winner of Catherine's bout. She's currently leading 12-7. 2 minutes later, Catherine is leading 14-8. After a 10-minute break, Catherine is anxious to get started. Catherine scores the first touch. Catherine is winning 5-1. Other touches come with patience and skill. Approximately 5.5 minutes into the bout, Robbie tries various tactics, but Catherine has control of the bout. She now leads 12-2. Robbie has grown tired and frustrated with his performance. Robbie gets his third touch. Catherine makes the final touch, winning 15-5.
Fun, a little shaky. I'm pooped.
Second place is just the first loser.
You want to
But
do better? You want to get first?
I want a rematch. But at least I did lose to somebody with a lot of experience. That makes me feel a little bit better. No, it was fun. Absolutely. And going against her is a whole different aspect of it.
I need to be a part of a group again. You know what? And I think I need something besides work. I work all day and then I come home and scour the internet for new ideas. And so maybe if I had to get my lifestyle in balance, learn my music again and get out and put a little fencing in there once in a while. Sounds like a good plan to me.
Kobe is still living in Oklahoma City, pursuing her dreams.
I think I have had a pretty normal childhood. Definitely.
Well, Sarah, there are certain things I can't do. Like, you and I can't drive to the mall.
Yeah, that's true, but she has offered. Dad just turns around and says, "Nah, you'll crash the car."
Well, that's when we take the cab. And you like taking the cab, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's pretty much, we can do a lot of stuff, but there's a few things that gets in the way. But we muddle through it, don't we?
No. I don't think so. I don't know what muddle means. My vocabulary is not that wide.
We'll make it. We'll make it through all the same.
Ani continues training those with visual impairments and running her household. Sarah is doing very well in school.
Growing up, being visually impaired and my vision going downhill over the years, I just want to be able to help others to do better and to enjoy their lives more fulfilled.
I'm tired, but I'm glad. I'm excited. I think I'm definitely learning some things today that I can use. I've been trying different techniques, and I think I'm learning things.
Kathy continues to fence. During a winter tournament, she eliminated Robbie and placed second overall. She recently had corrective eye surgery and now has partial vision in one eye.
I know many addicts. I know many people who are trapped in that dark world, and there is a way out. You know, it's possible. They don't think it is. They don't think there is. They've never known anything else. If there's any way to help those people, I would love to give them some kind of hope.
I truly believe that's what God's plans are for him, is to get out there, tell his story, and to help all kinds of people.
3 months later, Robbie got his rematch against Catherine. They faced off in the finals of the summer tournament. Robbie takes first place, beating Catherine 15-12. Robbie has been drug-free for more than a year. He continues fencing and is looking for a full-time job.
A year from now, I hope to be happy. I hope to wake up and actually want to get up. I hope to be an honest person. I hope to make my money and not have to steal. I hope that I'm someone I would be proud to know.
Jaden ran away from home. She currently lives with roommates and is working at a restaurant. She hopes someday to be a welder.
For 3 years now, every time I've gone to the doctor, I've seen less and less and less. And I've had more questions, and I've had less answers. And I've gone, and I've just, I've left with that fear in the pit of my stomach. And I was expecting that today, and I went in, and they said I have no nerve damage, and he said, don't lose hope, because I may be able to drive again.
A week later, Catherine picks up her new contact lenses.
I'm just still shocked over my vision changing. It wasn't supposed to change. And it's been a long time since I've seen the stuff that I have. Crazy is this. I'm so used to doing things without a mirror. It's like, I guess I can try it with the mirror. It's a shell on the sign across the street.
can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in the parking lot. I just found a leaf outside. I can't even see it. I can see all the little veins. Pretty good attitude with life, and it was really getting to me because things just look so dull. Forgot all the detail that I was missing. Little things like this that, you know, I used to take for granted. This is really cool. I think I'm gonna frame it. I'm laughing because that sounds a little silly, but this is really cool.
These look like mine.
Oh yeah?
Those are cute on the side, actually.
You wear glasses?
Yeah.
I didn't know you wear glasses.
Especially at night.
Oh wow. Should I be driving in the car with you?
Maybe not.
You never wear your glasses. How about I drive now?
Hey. I'm all for it. Those are really cute on you.
Really?
Would you like
Because I'm
them?
going to hold you to that.
Huh?
I don't have a friend yet who's volunteered their car. I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay. I'll say you should. Do you not like those? Those are really cute on you.
Okay.
You can be honest. You won't hurt my feelings.
You know.
Okay. They're cute. I think.
It's so freeing, you know, to be able to just see sharply that I don't want to look like I wear glasses.
Catherine's eyesight remained unchanged for the next several months. She was able to get her driver's license and a car. One morning a few months ago, Catherine woke up, unable to see. Her doctors could not explain the relapse. She again lost her ability to drive safely and has since sold her car. Catherine's eyesight continues to fluctuate. Before she goes to sleep each night, she wonders, will I be able to see when I wake up?
When the way ahead is blurring, when your restlessness is stirring, when the world is shrinking down to a little dot inside you, when you're reaching but never touching, when you're frozen but somehow rushing, when you feel you're falling back into silence, into black, leave a light inside, leave a light inside. When the climb is growing colder and assurance is getting older, just wait for something. When your battle plans are done,